Hey people, it is Tuesday, October the 8th. It's 3:55 in the afternoon and about 13 degrees Celsius. And just moments ago it was cloudy and raining, and all of a sudden now the sun has come out and the rain has stopped. And I have no doubt the temperature will climb up a few more degrees as I continue my walk here. I'm on Bloor Street West, heading towards St. George. And we're just on the edges of the University of Toronto campus. So I thought I'd take a walk through a good chunk of the St. George campus here in downtown Toronto, in the north end of downtown. This is the city's largest university and all of Canada's largest university for that matter. And the fall semester is well underway here at U of T. So Bloor Street is pretty much the northern boundary of the St. George campus at U of T. And St. George Street here is probably the main street of the campus if you had to pick one. It would either be this or Robarts Street, I would say. So we're going to walk south here along St. George through the heart of the campus, and I'll branch off at some point and explore more areas off of the main street here. It's a pretty extensive campus. Takes up a good chunk of the northwestern corner of downtown Toronto.
Swim every day.
And obviously, not everyone walking past is a university student. It is an urban campus, so it's fully integrated into the fabric of downtown Toronto. So you'll see a lot of people who aren't students just walking through on their way to somewhere else. I've done some tours through U of T before, but every year when the new school year starts, I try to get out and do a new walk, an updated walk, as well as the TMU campus, which is also downtown. And I've already done a video of that school for the new year. And I'll say I greatly prefer walking around this campus than the TMU campus. It is far grander, far more historic. This campus covers about 180 acres of land here in downtown Toronto, so it takes up a lot more area than TMU. I think there's about 64,000 students in total at University of Toronto, but that's spread among 3 different campuses. There are 2 suburban campuses, one in Scarborough and one in Mississauga. But I thought I heard somewhere before that this St. George campus has at least 45,000 students out of that 64,000 in total. It might be a bit more now, or less. I'm not exactly sure. And this is by far the older of the 2 downtown universities. By well over 100 years, actually. This was founded in 1827 as King's College. That was back when Toronto was still the town of York. And it was run by the Church of England back in those days. But in 1850, I think it became the University of Toronto, and it dropped its religious affiliation and became a secular school institution of learning. Let's cross to the other side. I'm going to walk past the Robarts Library, an enormous brutalist structure that is loved and hated in equal measure. I think it's the biggest library in all of Canada, holding the largest amount of items as well. Over 10 million, I believe, is what I heard. So this part of St. George Street is lined with these food trucks. And I think they do great business. Let's head over to the main walkway over here though. It's a bit more lively. I think this is probably one of the busiest times of day here to walk around campus. So obviously a school as old and prestigious as this has seen a lot of people come and go, many of who went on to become famous or well known in their fields. I think 5 prime ministers attended U of T. As well as 13 Nobel laureates and 100 Rhodes Scholars. As a matter of fact, I think a brand new Nobel laureate was just announced. I think a Nobel Prize in Physics was just awarded to a professor here by the name of Geoffrey Hinton. We're just crossing Harvard Street. This is like the other main street of the campus. Get a look at the library from this side. I'm going to try not to walk in that direction too much. The sun blazing, but over there you can see a big O hovering over the street. That's at Spadina Avenue, and that's the western boundary of the campus.
Guys.
So many major discoveries were made here at U of T also over the years. It's the birthplace of insulin, stem cell research, the first artificial cardiac pacemaker, and the first successful lung transplant and nerve transplant were performed here. It's also home to the first electron microscope, the development of deep learning, neural network, multi-touch technology, and identification of the first black hole Cygnus X1, and the development of the theory of NP completeness. And yes, I just happened to look that up before I set out on my walk here. I don't normally have these sort of facts at the tip of my tongue, but I thought it would just be helpful to provide some information about why this school is so highly regarded. It's often in the top 20 or 25 universities in the world when schools are ranked for their quality of education. Trees are starting to turn color here and there. There's a good tree canopy all across the campus. And you have these CN Tower views while walking south here along St. George. And many of the old historic buildings have these tunnels through them that will take you into the next area of campus here. I might walk through one or two of those as we continue. We'll check out more of St. George here.
The reason why I'm
Approaching College Street, that is the southern boundary of the campus. It's a very interesting mix of these old historic buildings, many which date back to the 19th century, and the more modern buildings that popped up throughout the 20th century and right up to present day. And the food trucks continue on with some music to go along with it. If I went here, I'd probably avoid that particular food truck like the plague. All right, let's not go all the way to College Street. Let's take one of these pathways.
What did we do?
You have a point. I lived in Mississauga for 3 years.
Is that like worse?
I think where I live is fine.
Going to emerge here at the big grassy quad. I'm not exactly sure what they call it.
Oh, that's good.
An awesome view. The Bloor-Yorkville skyline. You can see those dark clouds that were raining down on the city just a little while ago. Hopefully they don't dump another pile of rain on my head as I'm trying to record this video.
What's this guy doing?
Yeah. So anyways,
They seem to be moving away though. It was like, what is this guy doing? It's a person holding a camera in a public place. Must live a sheltered life to have never seen such a thing before. This is Convocation Hall.
so I'm just trying to. I think now it's just my like.
This is King's College Road over here. This is a nice tree-lined stretch that'll take you back down to College Street. It's one of the main entryways into the campus from College Street, and it also provides this awesome view. The CN Tower with trees on either side. And there are some very nice academic buildings lining the road down to College. Although they're all hiding behind the trees, as you can see. So U of T is made up of several semi-autonomous colleges, each with their own name and identity. And students here belong to one of the colleges and often refer to themselves as students at that particular institution, but they all fall under the greater umbrella of the University of Toronto. I think that's King's College straight ahead, which, as I mentioned earlier, was the original name of the university when it was first founded in 1827. But there are also other colleges with names such as Trinity, Victoria, and several others. And this big grassy expanse here was just recently reopened after many years of construction. It was an underground parking garage constructed underneath here that had this inaccessible for at least 4 or 5 years, I think. So it's nice to see that project completed. Those are some dark clouds, I say. Oh, I can feel a few more raindrops coming down now. Got the blue skies and white fluffy clouds over that way. This reminds me of the weather in London, England when I was visiting there some years ago. No matter what the forecast said, you were always probably better off taking an umbrella with you because you were bound to get caught in a rain shower at some point during the day. Not really ideal for a walking channel. I'm sure the Londoners, such as Watched Walker, I believe, in London, make the best of it. There's the Trinity Faculty of Medicine over there. Yeah, when the sun came out at the beginning of my video, I thought I was in the clear. Took all of 20 minutes for me to be proven wrong. It's coming down pretty hard now. Maybe I can duck into some shelter over here at Soldiers Tower. Or maybe under some trees here. Just until this passes over. The clouds are moving at a good clip over the city. So maybe it won't take too long for this to pass over. Let me stand right here. Try to find the best, most sheltered spot under this tree. It's pouring now. It's downright pouring. At least there are lots of nice big mature trees on campus that can help you out in these situations. See a whole group of people inside the archway at Soldiers Tower over there taking cover. And if you look over there, there's still the blue skies and fluffy white clouds. All right, I'm back. The rain has died down. It took about 10 minutes actually after I paused the video. Depending on where I decide to edit that long wait. And look at that. Now we have blue skies and fluffy white clouds again. And I didn't wear my Vessi shoes because I wasn't expecting to have my shoes get wet, but lo and behold, I'm wearing my not waterproof shoes, and now of course my socks are wet. Live and learn, I guess. The ground is very wet here. Let's take a look at the tree that I took shelter under It did a pretty good job for a while, but after the rain started coming down heavier, it wasn't really cutting it anymore. I started getting pretty wet, and my camera started getting pretty wet, so that's when I decided to stop recording and dry off my camera. I should have ran over here with everyone else who was waiting under the archway at Soldiers Tower.
Got microbiome.
Yeah, that's it.
The Hart House hair place. Campus Art Museum. The athletic field over here. And there's a stadium on campus too called Varsity Stadium. I don't think we'll walk past that during this tour, but it's on Bloor Street. Just walking through large puddles now. There's no point in trying to avoid them. My socks are already drenched. See all the rain clouds have moved over there now. And now we're approaching Hoskin Avenue. This is the same street as Harvard, it just changes names once you go east of St. George Street. And here comes the sun again, re-emerging just as it did at the beginning of my video. And this is Trinity College, one of those colleges I was referring to. Probably my favorite one architecturally. It's obviously one of the older buildings on campus, 19th century era. Here we have Wycliffe College right across the street.
Look, it's not my day.
And straight ahead is Queen's Park. The campus does continue on the other side of Queen's Park. But before I head over there, I'm gonna cut across the street here and we'll head up a bit of the Philosopher's Walk. This is just a very pleasant walkway with benches and greenery. It goes alongside the western side of the Royal Ontario Museum. And it ends at Bloor Street, but I don't think we'll go along the whole stretch here. I'll take another pathway that leads off of this. Alongside the Royal Ontario Museum, and I'll emerge on Queen's Park, the street. Here's Trinity College from the other side. I always thought this was a cool view here. Well, there's all sorts of droplets falling down from the leaves on the trees here. Found myself caught in another shower. I know there's a pathway somewhere around here where I can walk over to the street. I think this is it right here. Still getting rained on from the trees now. First they protect you from the rain, and then after that they get you wet all over again. This isn't a nicely landscaped walkway by any means, but it could be. A lot of people use this. Maybe we should make it a bit more inviting. Almost seems like you're not sure if you're supposed to be walking through here or not. All right, so this is Queen's Park. The street, there are several things called Queen's Park in this area, including the park itself. So we're still on University of Toronto territory here. This is the former planetarium, the McLaughlin Planetarium. It's been mothballed for a long, long time now. Slated to be demolished at some point. Here's the Royal Ontario Museum, the old historic side and entry. The main entrance is on Bloor Street with their new modern controversial addition there. All right, let's see if I can get across here. We're doing a museum station elevators project here. I guess the station was not equipped with elevators previously. Can't really see the cars coming from this vantage point here. But looks like no worries. Some backed up traffic has allowed me to cross.
And I was like, girl, how you walk there and that was hurricane.
So you could re-enter the campus areas along any of these side streets here.
No, it's a video, it's a YouTube one because the professor in Japan, well, I'm kind of, I'm a research affiliate.
What's
right?
going on with that? Like, what's the plan?
Well, I have to.
Yeah,
like as an organization, I want to submit some reports to. That's it.
Emmanuel College, another one of those colleges I was referring to earlier. On this side of the campus is known as Victoria University. Which later became another part of U of T, and Victoria College is located on this end also. I'm just wondering which way I should take to get back into this Victoria University part of the campus here.
Not that. No, it was a farm.
So the street we're just on is called Queen's Park. This street is called Queen's Park Crescent East, and that's Queen's Park, the park, and on the other side is Queen's Park Crescent West. And the Ontario Legislative Assembly is just a bit to the south, and that's also often referred to as Queen's Park. Like the traffic situation here. All right, let's go this way. There are some neat little secluded areas on this side of the campus. Some serene courtyards. I didn't actually see a map of the whole campus, but here's a map of this side, the Victoria University side. I'm sure I walked by one, but just didn't notice. It's a huge area, as I mentioned. So this is Victoria College on Victoria University. It's a bit confusing sometimes. It's like, what's with all these schools that sound like different schools altogether? Well, they sort of are different schools in some ways, separate from one another, but they're all part of U of T. So the swanky Bloor Yorkville neighborhood is just right over here. Here's another archway. I think this is a residence here. Well, let's take this walkway. So now we're heading south again. We're heading kind of in all four directions on this walk. Nice little pond over there. Another map. I think if you keep heading this way, you'll exit the campus onto Bay Street. Brennan Hall. And I think that is Wellesley Street over there. I think this will also take us to Wellesley Street if I just keep following these pathways. Actually, this is St. Mary's Street here. Wellesley is the next one down. Everywhere you look, there's awesome old buildings. And some more modernist structures, the Kelly Library. Of course, the big Robarts Library we saw earlier is not the only library on campus. There's quite a few of them. One of the libraries actually was used in a music video for a very popular group in the 1980s called Tears for Fears. They shot their video for, what was it now? Head Over Heels. Yeah, that's right. That song Head Over Heels, which the video takes place in a library. Well, that was here at the U of T. Right, well, now we're going to sort of exit the campus area here at Bay Street. Did I say this was St. Mary Street? It's St. Joseph Street. My bad. And now we're not really on campus anymore, but we could easily pop back into the campus area here by hanging a right at Wellesley up ahead. There are so many different options for walking routes you could take through U of T that it's kind of hard to really cover the whole campus in one walk that doesn't end up being 2 hours long. So here we are at Wellesley. But we have the bright sun, of course, back in action. So as I make my way west here back towards campus on Wellesley Street, I'm going to start to wrap up this walk. I hope you enjoyed my little walk of the University of Toronto campus, the St. George campus. Now that the new fall semester is in full swing here, I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Have you attended U of T in the past? Are you currently attending? Are you hoping to attend in the future? And be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And also make sure you hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. And if you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal, as well as via my merch store. Or you can also support the channel by becoming a channel member, or by sending a super thanks if you prefer. And you can find me on Instagram also under K Continuum. So thanks for watching, and thanks to all the channel members. And be sure to keep checking back, because as always, I will continue.